You'd think paradise and the Arctic couldn't have much in common until you checked the thermometer. Today's big idea comes from a tweet thread by Dr. Paul A. Majewski. You've probably heard some wild claims about weather records lately. Hottest summer ever recorded. Heat waves in places that don't usually get that hot. Storms that drop unprecedented amounts of rain. But this next one might be my favorite, because it upends one of our most basic assumptions about American geography. Today we're going to talk about how the two states that couldn't look more different on a map are actually more alike than you think. That's coming up right now on this channel. But you didn't know that Alaska and Hawaii are tied for having the lowest all-time record high temperature of any U.S. state. Both states have a record high of just 100 degrees Fahrenheit or 37.8 degrees Celsius. Yes, you read that right. The frozen north and the tropical islands share the same scorching ceiling. On June 27, 1915, Fort Yukon, Alaska, just a few miles south of the Arctic Circle, hit 100 degrees Fahrenheit. While on April 27, 1931, Pahala on the Big Island of Hawaii hit the exact same temperature. Let me put that in perspective. North Dakota has hit 121 degrees Fahrenheit. South Dakota, 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Even Maine, way up in the northeast, has topped out at 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Yet neither Hawaii, with its endless sunshine, nor Alaska, which regularly faces sub-zero temperatures and experiences nearly perpetual daylight in the summer, has ever cracked 100 degrees. Now you might be thinking, gee whiz, how is this possible? Well, there are a couple factors at play here. First off, let's talk about Hawaii. Located in the tropics, it does bask in plenty of sunshine. However, Hawaii's temperatures are moderated by the surrounding Pacific Ocean. Just like how living near a large body of water can give you a sea-like vibes on a hot summer day, the ocean breeze keeps Hawaii from turning into a sauna. Sure, it gets warm, but not boiling. As for Alaska, well, it's a big state and much of it is pretty darn cold, especially during the winter months. But when it does get hot, it can get uncomfortably warm. The record high of 100 degrees Fahrenheit was recorded in 1915. Back when people were putting new roofs on igloos, according to NOAA, that particular heat wave was part of a larger pattern that brought record high temperatures across the northern hemisphere. But despite the global sizzle, Alaska still hasn't broken that century-old record. So why does this matter? Why should you care that two very different states have the same record high? Well, first off, it's plain weird. We tend to think of places like Hawaii as being synonymous with scorching heat, and we picture Alaska as eternally frozen. The idea that both these states have hit the same temperature is just plain bizarre. It challenges our mental maps, those mental models we've built of the world based on our experiences and stereotypes. It reminds us that the world is full of surprises, and our assumptions don't always hold up. Secondly, it's a fascinating example of how geography works. We often think of places like Hawaii and Alaska as being so different that they couldn't possibly have anything in common. But this example shows us that geography is full of connections and relationships. The fact that these two states have the same record high temperature is a great example of the power of place. It reminds us that every place is shaped by a unique set of geographic factors. Things like jet streams, elevation, ocean currents, and latitude. These factors combine to create the unique environments we call home. And sometimes those environments can surprise us in ways we never expected. Think about it. The Gulf Coast of Florida, with its white sandy beaches and balmy temperatures, is just a few miles away from the rugged, untamed Everglades. Yet one of these places is synonymous with luxury vacations, while the other is known for its dangerous wildlife and murky waters. Similarly, the sun-drenched hills of Tuscany, Italy, where vineyards and olive groves stretch as far as the eye can see, are just a stone's throw away from the snow-capped peaks of the Swiss Alps, where skiers and snowboarders carve their way down the slopes. Even closer to home, the bustling metropolis of New York City, with its iconic skyscrapers and world-class museums, is just a stone's throw away from the bucolic landscapes of the Hudson Valley, or rolling hills and charming towns. The region. But perhaps most importantly, this little piece of trivia serves as a reminder that our planet is constantly changing. Climate is not static. It's a dynamic system that's always adjusting, always responding to changes in our atmosphere and on our surface. What may seem like a simple fact, the fact that two such different places have the same record high temperature, can actually be a powerful lesson in humility. It's a reminder that we can't assume that what's true today will be true tomorrow. It also reminds us that even the most extreme places are still connected to the rest of the planet in ways we might not expect. In an era of climate anxiety, this might seem like a strange comfort. But there's something strangely comforting about knowing that even in the hottest parts of paradise, the mercury won't rise above 100 degrees. Maybe it's the idea that some places remain untouched by the sweltering heat, or that some corners of our planet retain a certain wildness that even the warmest temperatures can't tame. Whatever the reason, it's a small solace in a world that seems to be getting hotter by the day. However, make no mistake, the extremes are shifting. Places that once seemed immune to the worst effects of a warming planet are now feeling the heat. Not too long ago, it was hard to imagine Portland, Oregon hitting 115 degrees Fahrenheit. Yet here we are. Records are meant to be broken, and the ones that stand today might be shattered tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe one day soon we'll find ourselves taking a dip in the freezing cold waters of the Arctic Ocean, while the sun beats down on our backs. And maybe that'll be the day that Alaska finally breaks its own record. And who knows what kind of crazy weather records we'll see in the future. So while it's fun to think about these sorts of things, we shouldn't become complacent. Instead, we should use this knowledge to better understand the complexities of our planet and the challenges that lie ahead. After all, who knows what other surprises our warming world has in store for us? If you liked this episode, please consider supporting this channel. The best way to do that is to support the show by becoming a patron. I'm also active on social media, so come say hi.